salt-based fertilizers. If you look at those numbers, like if you go to Orchard Supply to 12, 12, 12 NPK, the first number is nitrogen, which is what's salt, sodium nitrate. And so if you use a lot of nitrates on a crop conventionally, they're going to pull up more water, they're going to get ready faster, but they're going to have a higher water content than solid content. Thus the flavor is going to be a little different. And I really feel when you grow with care and love, you're going to get that same thing I talked about with the dishes that chefs prepare earlier. You're going to get a better quality product.
Art of Food on the road. We're at the Earthbound Farms, and co-founder?
My husband and I
owner?
started Earthbound Farm in 1984, and I'm currently the executive vice president.
Myra Goodman. And we're so happy to have you as part of the aquarium's sustainable seafood cooking for solutions. And tell us how this ties in. You mentioned a while ago that the aquarium, we're talking about sustainable seafood, and you're an organic farmer.
Right. I think what we're talking about is that, we look at it as the analogy of a plate, and there's the protein, which is your fish or your tofu or your meat, and we want that to be sustainably farmed. And then there's the produce course, and that's the course that we're focused on, and then we're not doing grains or any dried beans or anything at this point, but we do a full line of salads, fruits and vegetables, and they're all organically grown, and they're all sustainably farmed. And so our missions and our visions are really aligned.
So sustainable, looking at seafood and looking at this, if somehow the organic process of the farming would eliminate the possibility of contaminating waterways and so forth.
Yeah, there is that,
so
because there is
connection.
that chemical runoff from the farms, which is one of the biggest sources of pollutions of our rivers and into our oceans.
Right.
So there is that direct connection.
It's a terrific marriage. And I've noticed a few events around the aquarium using organic wines. So it's just a wonderful process happening with this. It's taken a long time. I know you've, how long now?
20 years.
Oh,
yeah. I think the aquarium, they've been talking a lot about, their mission is really to have people become much more aware about how their food choices impact the environment and impact the ecosystem. And they've made a lot of headway in the seafood area, and so they really are looking for partners in other areas of food, like produce, to really help educate the public about that. And and the thing about organic that makes it so sustainable is that most of the fertilizers and the pesticides used in conventional agriculture are petroleum-based, which is a non-renewable resource, and we recycle a lot of what would otherwise be waste products onto the farm, in a safe manner. And it also means that we're keeping all these pesticides, all these toxic chemicals out of the environment, out of the water, the soil, the air, and out of the food that people eat.
Terrific. It makes such good sense. One of the problems I know you encounter, or there's two that I'm aware of as a consumer. One is the prices are sometimes a bit higher for organic.
Right.
And of course you have to appreciate that it costs more to do it this way. And the other is sometimes the aesthetics. Sometimes an organic, especially like a farmer's market or so forth, where it's just kind of a little homegrown deal.
Right.
It doesn't have the attractive look of one of the other, like in the supermarket.
I think if you see our Earthbound Farm produce,
I was going to that,
Yeah, I think that there is, there's a stigma from the past.
Right.
And so much of it is because we are a large farm and we're able to employ the most modern technologies in terms of harvesting, cooling, storage, transportation, you're seeing product that is just as beautiful, if not more beautiful. And we actually have found that our organic salads have a longer shelf life than conventional salads. And we haven't figured out exactly why, but because a conventional farmer can really control plant growth through the infusion of synthetic fertilizers, it can grow quicker, and the cell structure is not as sturdy as organic. So I think that that's actually something that has really changed, and consumers are really looking for, consumers look for quality. They're not going to buy something that's not quality. And in terms of the price issue, that's also really narrowing, because now you see, our produce is in Walmart, it's in Costco, it's in all the major every major supermarket chain in America. And in the old days, organic seemed so much more expensive because it was really only sold in the natural food markets, and there was a markup of like the middleman. And so now you're starting to see the difference between organic and conventional get closer. But organic will always cost more, and our big challenge is to explain why, and that
exactly. But understanding is a better product, a healthy healthy for
It's
the
healthy
body and the environment.
Right,
Yeah.
and when they calculate, the studies that have calculated the cost to the taxpayers of cleaning up the pollution and cleaning up the problems of
paying
conventional
for it.
agriculture, you are paying for it eventually.
Exactly.
It's just you don't see it when you walk into the supermarket, but you see it eventually, and we believe that you see it, you know, in your personal health, and that eating organic is part of a healthy, preventative health way of life.
Oh, absolutely. And we go back personally 20 years or so when they first started. We used to buy from them, starting with the roadside stand and picking up produce at your house before you.
Right,
So
right.
and you've grown successfully and aesthetically as well, and sustainably. So thank you so much,
Oh, well,
Myra.
thank you,
Appreciate
Bob.
it.
It's so great to see you.
Great to see you. Back on the road.
We are discovering in Western cooking the importance of sugar in savory foods. If you think about most Asian foods, sugar is a very important developer of flavor. I remember a long time ago, I spent some time in Thailand and was lectured by a wonderful Thai cook about the importance of sugar as a flavor enhancer. And his point was that it's probably the most important flavor enhancer that we have. That if you think about in any savory dish, a little pinch of sugar, not to make it sweet, but there to kind of boost flavor, it's absolutely amazing in terms of its qualities, its ability to do that. Cooking the fish very quickly, not overcooking it. You know, cook it perfectly. That's what I always tell the cooks in the restaurant, cook it perfectly. I don't know how you do that, but just make sure it's done. And what we're going to do with this is just saute and put under it. You could actually put anything. When I was looking, both Jeff and I were looking at all the beautiful greens that are on the table, to only use your hands and fingers for everything. And the reason for that is, for those of you who don't know, in a restaurant situation, at least my restaurant, you could never, any tool, number one, whoever was working with you would steal it, so it was gone when you needed it, or it got thrown out in the garbage or something like that. So all you end up with is your hands. And eventually, you can put your hand into boiling water and pull out the spaghetti and the raviolis. Can you do that?
I used to.
That's before you became an executive.
That's right, yeah.
And it's one of those things that you can throw anything on top of it. Any sustainable seafood will work with it. Anything that is not sustainable, it won't work. So that's the deal. Anyway, thanks very much. Thank you.